Welcome to the You Are a Force podcast channel, your go-to space for real stories, fearless dreams, and unstoppable women rewriting the rules. And the force behind this podcast. Here is your host, Binoli Botadara.
Hi everyone, welcome to You're a Force, the podcast where we celebrate women who see opportunities where others see something very small and they master it so completely well so that the world has no choice but to notice. Hi, I'm your host Binoli Botadara, and today I have someone very, very special. She is one of India's most influential, celebrated stylists and the entrepreneur at the time when celebrity styling was still in the very initial stage in India as a profession. She built the entire category, defining this business and transformed a creative process into a name to reckon with. From Aishwarya Rai Bachchan's unforgettable Cannes appearance to styling stars including Kiara, Advani, Saif Ali Khan, Disha, Patani, and so many other celebrities who we love and have known for their fashion choices. Her work has actually graced the red carpet, global campaign, magazine covers, and international stages. So please welcome, without a further ado, celebrity fashion stylist, entrepreneur, and a founder of Wardrobist, India's leading stylist, without a further ado, Aastha Sharma. Aastha, thank you so much for being on You Are a Force.
Thank you for having me and such a lovely introduction. Thank you.
It's been amazing. I have been just dreaming about this conversation. I was like, oh my God, this is my a little celebrity moment to actually talk to a stylist and get maybe that sort of consulting. But yeah,
We work with celebrities. We hardly have the lifestyle of a celebrity.
I
Extremely
know.
talkative. But yeah,
It
thank
looks
you.
it looks really glamorous from far, isn't it? When you're in it, you realize that it's not. After I did my MBA back in, I don't know, God knows how many years ago, but I finished that and I joined mass communications. I joined Mudra into ad agency, and believe you me, till then I had a very different perception of the entire ad agency and campaign, and I thought it's very glamorous. But when you're in it, you realize it's atrociously bad and not glamorous at all. So yeah, but here we are. So and before we jump into anything, I would like to actually start that a famous study at Northwestern University shows that we judge people in just 7 seconds, and the entire business of styling is based on that. Do you also do that when you meet someone, like you judge instantly, like in 7 seconds you judge somebody's outfit?
I mean, it's not judgment, but
Yeah.
definitely notice. And especially if you work in the fashion industry and you're surrounded with clothes and looks and styling all day, you
Yeah.
definitely pay attention to what a person is wearing, which is
Hmm.
also my research guide. I usually people find inspirations from different places on social media or magazines. For me, the moment I meet someone, it kind of, you know, inspires me when I'm traveling and I see different people dressed differently.
Hmm.
Of course, my instant eye definitely goes there. It's
Okay,
not a
great.
judgment though.
No, fair enough. I always tell everyone that I don't judge people, but I judge the way they dress. So, uh,
Mm.
great. So, Asta, before we go into all the glamorous fashion things, I want to start with the massive plot twist, right? You grew up in a family of lawyers in Delhi, and you cleared your national law school entrance exam as well. And then you completely went off track from the courtroom. So, before all these glamour, was just becoming a lawyer was on cards, or did you have something else as an aspiration or dream when you were growing up?
I mean, when you're growing up, you actually see your parents and what they do and the kind of the kind of circle that they hang in. And we had a very social family, so we
Hmm.
all had a lot of people over, and a lot of them were from the law background and from the legal background. And you always you're around your parents, and I was around my dad, and seeing him there was some kind of excitement
Yeah.
which I found in law, and
Mm-hmm.
it came a little bit more easy to me rather than other subjects and other
Sure.
professions. However, my dad was always told me that, always try different things and then pick up something because it's going to last with you for the rest of your life. And
Mm.
the big decision that you make when you're in your between your 15 to the 20s, that's going to last with you for next 30, 40 years.
Sure.
So he was always very he always pushed me to try different things, and that's how I ended up not going to the National Law School and started exploring other things. Just he's like, just do your graduation and see if you feel like after 3 years of you know going out and exploring the city and the world, and if you still feel like being a lawyer, you can always become a lawyer. But then obviously I went to college and things changed, interests changed. And I guess fashion was something that was it was in my destiny, and it just
Yeah.
so happened and it fell in my lap. And I didn't think much of it
Sure.
at the time. I was enjoying the process. And uh, from one thing to the other, it led me to styling.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely. And I think it just keep your eyes and ears open, right? Sometimes the most amazing opportunities come your way when you've not planned. And that has also
Absolutely.
happened with me. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
true. So, Asta, you entered the fashion merchandising and later transitioned into Harper Bazaar's, celebrity styling in 2010. Um, at that time, it wasn't even institutionalized, the entire concept. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so I want to understand what were those early days like when you don't even come from that sort of background of fashion or art and then ultimately initially I'm sure it must have been challenging also or maybe embarrassing. So if you can share those early days with us.
So styling kind of came in my life, and it was there was no Instagram, right? There was no
Yeah.
social media per se. So it was very the kind of courses that are available for you when you go and join. It was very much in between my merchandising course that a friend suggested, that styling being this new career path, and they're stylists for magazines, and magazines were so big at that time.
Yeah.
Uh, Vogue coming in, Bazaar coming in. Um, so just the idea of going to a store and picking up whatever you want and putting it together excited me. And at that time there was no fear. Like
Mm,
there was no fear that I'm gonna where it's gonna take me, because there was no plan as
right.
such. You
Right.
know what? Sometimes when you don't have like a long-term plan, you can always have fun during the time that you're working. And I worked with some really amazing, I got an opportunity to work with some really good stylists in Delhi, and who are hardcore into editorial and the
Mm,
real fashion, and doing the research and following the international trend, following the Indian trends. So that kind of gave me a huge learning platform
mm,
uh, that I could not learn in college. What college gave me was discipline. What college gave me was guidance, and to have that kind of discipline and work hard towards what you want to do,
mm,
and general knowledge of fashion.
mm.
But everything else I learned on the job, and whether it was with Harper's Bazaar or whether starting on my own and doing my own work, it's been a long journey, and a lot of it I've learned on the go.
On the go. Yeah.
But my school and my college gave me that confidence to be able to just try different things.
Mm, mm.
It was kind of meant to be, and I just took that opportunity at
Mm.
that.
And like your father said, right? You can just give it a try and you can always go back to
Exactly.
something. So you didn't have a fear of failure. Like, I mean, you would
Absolutely.
take it
Yeah.
as a, yeah, just chance and
That's so important, that if your parents support you and
yeah.
they believe in you,
Yes.
you don't know where. And for the longest time, it took me years to explain my dad what a stylist does. Like it was just like every time I explained him and he like had different meanings to it. But when he went out and he spoke to his friends, he somehow explained what I did. And he was very proud of it.
I wish
So
I was a fly on the wall that when they must be talking about your job.
it took him many years and then he became a pro. And then he was like, you don't know what a stylist is?
Oh. Yeah, I know. I've been very fortunate. I grew up in a business family, and I'm a Gujarati, so girls in my community pretty much study to get married. You're more marriageable. Of course, things are changing now, but I'm talking about a couple of years ago. And my parents told me very, very clearly that take your chances, do whatever you got to do. We're always here, you can come back. And my dad has a chemicals business, which I was not interested. So my mom very early on told me that do anything, but do not join your dad's business because I know both of you really well. But like you said, it gives you like wings to fly. And what if you fall? You would always recover from that. But Asta, I want to pick up on the first celebrity break or a first major break you actually landed in your career. And that was like a stepping stone, and that sort of created a foundation. And if you can talk about that. And I also wanted to be cheeky and ask that do top actors ever feel insecure while sharing the stylist because you are working with so many multiple people? Because maybe the fear of copying their signature style or diluting someone else's, or do they have any of those feelings or ideas?
Um, I think my first big break after Bazaar was when I moved to Mumbai and I worked with
Hmm,
Aishwarya Rai, and I immediately started working with her at Cannes Film Festival, and like it was such a huge deal for me. Like
of course.
uh, it was. I was so nervous and I was so young in the profession, and it was like a huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, to be able to get something at that early in your career, to be able to work with a legend, with an icon, and on a such a global international platform, I think that for me gave me wings. Like it was like, okay, I've got this opportunity. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
And for many, many years, were invested into, working with her. And, I learned so much. And that's when I said, you learn on the job and you grow with people that you work with on a regular basis. And that was with me and Ishwarya. We kind of, had worked as a team for such a long time, and it was uh, such a privilege. And I was so lucky at that point to be able to do that
Hmm.
and create some beautiful iconic looks, and just the whole experience and exposure that gave me, working with international brands, working with top brands across the world, and
Hmm.
meeting people across the world. I think for somebody who's just started off, and
Yeah.
especially their own work,
Yeah.
and to be able to immediately kind of rope in an icon and work on a global platform. I think that really kind of pushed my career and
Hmm.
my just my standing in the industry.
Hmm.
Yeah, and your second question, which is, do celebrities get insecure? I think not. I
Hmm.
think all of them have their own individual personality, and like they have their own like the way they dress up, and the kind of work they do is so different from
Hmm.
each other.
Hmm.
I have never experienced that. I've never had the clients who were like kind of insecure if I'm working with someone else.
Hmm.
I've always had the liberty to work with whosoever I want to, and they've all been very, very nice and generous, and very supportive.
Hmm. Hmm. Love that. So before we jump into anything, and I'm very curious to know about all the Cannes festivals and everything you've worked with Aishwarya on, but how did you land up with a job, first job with Aishwarya? Because you were in Delhi, you did not have sort of network or the army of people who were actually vouching for you. So how did you land up your first initial assignment with Aishwarya?
I'd already moved to Mumbai, so
Okay.
it was like I think a year and a half or two, and I used to, at that point, message everybody to work with the people who I had a list of people I wanted to work with, and I had their contacts, and through someone, I got her manager's contact, and I messaged her, and I think in a day's time I got a reply back. And like, okay, she was working on something. She's like, okay, we have also been looking for a stylist to work on a few projects. And I worked
Mm-hmm.
with her on a campaign right
Mm.
after I met her. And it went so well.
Yeah.
And then we started doing a few other things. And then Cannes came in, and her manager asked me, can you help us with Cannes? And 1.5 months later, I was like, oh my God,
Of
like,
course.
how do I do this? But it so happened.
Okay, Asta. So basically, starting from Aishwarya and then you worked into Cannes. So I want to understand all these iconic red carpet looks can generate 20, 30 million media impact value, they call MIV, for any luxury brand within like 24 hours for surpassing traditional multi-dollar ad campaigns they do. And unlike previous times, brands are actually lining outside the celebrities to actually, land their outfits or give their outfits. So how do you maintain relationship with brands without impacting their ego or keep the relationship because you pick one over another? So how does that shortlisting process work? And do you have to manage their egos to keep the relationship going?
Well, I think designers have always had their muses, like in the history of time, like from Donatella Versace to like Valentino's to like they've always had their favorites, and they've always believed in dressing celebrities. Or if you have Abu Sandeep or Tarun
Hmm.
Tahiliani or Indian designers, they've always had their muses who they always have been dressing them for a while. But
Yeah.
of course, it's become a lot more
Hmm.
um, of social media, and just clicking pictures and putting it on, and there is just so much more that's happening now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Earlier there were like probably one or two red carpets a year. Now there are like around 15 red carpets a year,
Yes.
and then you need those many kind of outfits and those many designers to give you those outfits.
Hmm.
And it's a balance. It's also, I feel it's not that because I'm using their outfits is because I have a relationship with them. It's an ongoing process. You
Okay.
need to have your relationships with your designers, just not by dressing celebrities, but by attending their shows or just supporting them, or just keeping an eye on what they're doing.
Hmm.
Uh, I've been lucky enough to work with a magazine and
Hmm.
to be working for so many years that I have such, and I really, really value my relationships with my designers. I respect them. I respect their clothes. Um, and that means there is a protocol at my workplace of how to how to pack, unpack, keep their clothes in a certain way. I feel that is more important and valuable for a designer rather
Mm-hmm.
than always dressing them in their clothes for a celebrity.
Hmm.
uh, Having said that, sometimes egos probably do get
On the
uh,
way.
yeah, but I guess it's a part of the industry, part of the game, and we are we are moving so fast, and we have so much more coming up that
Hmm.
there's the balance.
Hmm. Hmm. No, absolutely. And how does the process work in terms of identifying, sometimes because these days, like you said, there are more than 10, 15, appearances. Some are very ad hoc because there are some like weddings or birthday parties to, of course, something like Cannes. So how does the entire process work of identifying the or creating the look to the entire process of, having them ready? And if you can share that with us.
I mean, if you're specifically asking for a red carpet look or just in general.
I think the red carpet pretty much, or maybe the general as well. Like there are general, like it could be an ad hoc wedding or some, brand appearance or fashion show or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the process is usually a little bit of a format that we kind of follow depending on the red carpet, whether it's Indian or global, the
Mm-hmm.
kind of people that will be attending, the kind of
Mm,
theme that we have. We kind of follow that. Whether it's going to be Western, it's going to be Indian. Are we looking for Indian designers? Are we looking for international designers? So we kind of streamline that first, kind of create a small mood board, which
mm,
we like share with the celebrity and get on the same page and then start contacting the designers and what's available to pull from their collections. So that's the initial phase. Then we start getting the outfits in, clothes in. Then there's a round of fittings and maybe 1 or 2 rounds of fittings
mm.
and finalize what looks the best.
Okay.
And of course, then alterations and everything else. Then you put the jewelry together, your perfect shoot together. Yeah, so sometimes we have a month to work on it, and sometimes we have a day and a half to work on it. So also the whole process also depends on how much time you have in hand. And
Yeah.
if you have the luxury of contacting international brands, or you have the luxury of customizing something for a certain thing,
Hmm.
or have to go something which was readily available. So
Hmm.
it's kind of every project is different, but the core system is the same.
Hmm. Sure. No, and I'm sure it takes a village to actually put together this particular kind of a look, especially when it comes to red carpet. But I want to talk about behind the scenes when the celebrities have jet lag and anxiety and fitting to appear into something so large and so glamorous. So, I mean, from your vantage point, you've had like a front row seat. So, what do they eat or drink to look away? Because I always wonder that I travel and I'm like, after jet lag, I'm so tired. So, to prevent maybe instant bloating or any secrets on the backstage or hacks you can share with everyone so that because I always wonder that they wear the new shoes most of the times. How in those 6, 7 inches stilettos they walk so comfortably?
I mean, a celebrity's job is very difficult. It looks so easy, but if we are working in behind the cameras for 18 hours, they are working for those 18 hours in front of the camera, looking the way they look. So it
Hmm.
is it's very, very difficult, tiring, and sometimes there are different things that can happen. So we have to
Yeah.
make sure that our job is perfect so that when they go on in front of the camera, it's all perfect, or they walk the red carpet, they're in their most comfortable form.
Hmm.
But also, I must say, even though they are traveling for long hours, or if they're bloaty, or if they don't like the shoe, or they're not comfortable, but it goes with the looks, they just do it. It's part
Hmm.
of their job. I mean, they have that kind of energy. The moment the lights and the cameras and the action happens, it kind of all comes together.
Huh.
Uh, Secret about their bloating, I won't know, but but they do try to rest as much possible. Try to eat a healthy, balanced diet.
Hmm.
Um, but you cannot avoid the odd hours and the odd travel and everything else.
Yeah. And fashion has yet been dismissed as very superficial profession or
Oh, not
superficial.
anymore.
Yeah, not anymore because I think the way the history tells us that clothes have revolutionized or challenged maybe gender norms and represented power, right? So, and today it's what $1.8 trillion industry. So one of the largest and the most influential industries in the world. So, knowing how immense the gravity and power of this space, I want to pick your brain into the turning point the day you decided to create your own brand, Wardrobist, and you became an entrepreneur from the self employed. So, what was a precise turning point? You were just not a stylist anymore, but also became an entrepreneur in this multi-trillion-dollar industry.
I mean, the idea of having my own company was since day one.
Yeah.
I also believe that, a profession like this where you're freelancing and you're working on your own, you cannot do it all alone. You need a great team to work with.
Yeah.
And idea of having Wardrobist more than a business perspective, it was like putting a team together and working as a team so that even when sometimes I'm not available, I have somebody from my team who's been with me for many years and knows the job the way I want it to be done, is there. And it's always going. It never stops.
Okay. Okay.
That was the whole idea of having a company and having people who work with me. And I've been working with almost the same set of team from the last 13, 14 years.
Really?
Yeah, I have like a really good bunch of girls who work with me, and they make my life so much more easy, and and also we like motivate each other. We you have different ideas and different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody comes with their own creative mindset and
Friends.
idea, right?
Sure.
So that's the idea of having Wardrobist. And then it turned into a complete business where we are servicing to all kinds of styling requirements, whether it's celebrity styling, or it's for the web shows or films or weddings. So that kind of always you need to expand at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of deviated into multiple divisions, and
Mm.
that's what happened.
Wow, love that. And speaking of that, you also styled Netflix show called The Royals, and you also as do the ad campaigns to magazine covers to everything which we just spoke about. So I want to be cheeky and ask about the financial matrix of this industry which you're in, because there is so much involved and so many things which are on rent, so you don't really earn anything out of it. And there are high shipping costs to alterations to dry cleaning bills and so many other things which we don't even know about. But I'm just assuming. So how does that entire economics work behind the scenes? So do you have any like fixed sort of cost, which you charge to the customer, or how does it work? And how do you also balance out, because there are so many opportunities for you and your team to work on. How do you prioritize low margin to high fame red carpet projects to high margin corporate commercials, or any other sort of opportunity?
I mean, yes, there are a lot of hidden expenditures and a lot of cost that goes into um, producing the kind of work that we produce. But you have to have that balance, and that's why we kind of deviated into uh, multi divisions of styling. That you work with a set of people who you want to work for your PR, or you certain set of projects that you work for monetary benefit. So you have to kind of balance it out, and uh, we never try to say no to an opportunity, like, right? And whether it's like if you're working on a very small budgeted event or an appearance, then compensated with an ad campaign or something bigger with the same person. Uh, so it has to be a balance of both, because your appearances and your red carpets give you the kind of PR and marketing that you require for yourself, and the kind of creative work that you can do. And then there are jobs which are highly commercial, and it's the client tells you, I want this color of red, and you produce that color of red. It's like, that's money business. And then you have like your red carpets and your editorials and covers where you can pour in your creativity and try different things and experiment. So I think, especially if you are in this creative field and you are uh, you're constantly fighting between creativity and making the buck, you have to balance it out together really well, so that both are satisfied and not just one.
Sure, absolutely. And My question is that when we are talking about a hyper speed of daily TikTok, micro trends and high street fashion, so between say Anita Shroff Adajania's iconic styling in India to Erin Wallish's absolute style of Renaissance with Anne Hathaway globally, apart from just what we see, what are the specific newsletters or magazines or Instagram handles you actually follow or get the inspiration or ideas from?
I mean, there's so much to follow, social media is filled with, it's a
Yes.
market, you know,
Yes.
and of course, you follow the international runway shows, which is very important, and see what's happening in the fashion market, whether it's the Indian fashion market or the international one. So
Hmm.
that's something I always keep up to date as to what's happening in the West and in India.
Okay.
Uh, but my actual inspiration comes from watching movies,
Hmm.
watching films,
Okay.
uh, classics, or even the new ones, and how they're doing, because I really enjoy costume.
Hmm.
Uh, I just find it like I just find that world very beautiful. So I'm always looking for my ideas, or just like getting inspired by the
Hmm.
movies, or when I'm traveling and looking at people.
People
And
watching.
this gives me a lot of joy. I just pick up so many of my referencing from people wherever I'm traveling. I just I don't even take a picture. It just stays in my mind.
Really?
Yeah, I think because when you're uh, you know you'll see street style changes so fast,
Very
and,
quickly. Yeah.
and so you have so much variety
Correct.
that's already available if you just keep your eyes open.
True.
And when you're scrolling through Instagram, it becomes very monotonous, very atypical, a certain trend or a certain style, which is probably going to stay in trend today and go out tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uh, so I also try to follow people whose um, aesthetic is very close to my liking, and
Hmm.
not just follow everybody and anybody.
Sure.
Uh, uh, and mainly just through this whole beautiful travel world that is
Yeah.
there, and you find the people who are into their classic um outfits,
Look.
and look
Yeah.
to your very very new and Gen Z, and to your very very
Yeah.
kind of dressing. So it gives you so many ideas, and so much of what's happening and what's also available out there.
Correct, correct. Yeah, because I think the way Zara and all these brands come with almost every week new collection, I sometimes wonder that how do they do it? Like, imagine the turnover. I ended up watching one documentary in terms of what really goes behind, because within a week's time, you have to have that collection everywhere in all stores across the globe.
It's
And
not a good thing at all. I mean,
no,
it's
no,
nothing
the
to do
way they're
with it.
churning, the way things are
Yeah.
happening. And it's also funny that, whenever there is a color which is actually in trend, for example, burgundy, everywhere, all the brands would have burgundy suddenly. I don't know how they do it.
That's why I don't like going for shopping in the malls. And whenever I'm traveling and my friends are like, let's go shopping. And that's the last thing I want to do. Because if I go to a vintage store, or like I go to an exclusive store or something that will excite me.
Yeah,
Like the malls and the regular stores don't excite me anymore, because I'm seeing them on an everyday basis for my work.
yeah,
And
fair enough.
I know how they're getting made, and how they're getting misused, and how people are like, like how badly people get misused while making them, or how badly just the whole back end is being managed. So
Hmm.
you know that. So you just kind of you're like, if you don't need it, just don't buy it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
true.
that's that also, after working in the industry for so many years and consuming so much, you become like, I have become self-conscious, and I'm very conscious of the things that I buy now.
Yeah, I am obsessed with Vinted and Vestia, and this
Yeah.
is so much better. Like I have sold my t-shirts and my top for like 5, 5, 10, 10 quids because they're just lying in my wardrobe. I'm not wearing them. It was maybe 10 years ago I bought it. It doesn't fit me or whatever. One rainy day, I put everything up and I started selling so many of them. And it just made me feel good. It wasn't about money, but it was about creating the space in a wardrobe as well and churning and maybe helping other people also use your garments. And
Yeah, there are at least 2 to 3 bags per month that kind of goes to, like, to somebody or the other, like, for a resale or, to a store that, or like just a cleanse is needed.
yeah, I agree. I
Turn
agree. And
around.
especially for you, I'm sure there are so many designers would be giving you things just for you to try, like I think the makeup artists also get so many makeup goodies like that. So you can't just keep accumulating everything, especially in a place like Bombay.
Yeah.
There's no
There is no
space.
space.
There's no space for sure. Rasta, I want to pick something which is Aishwarya's can look and the whole foil gown which you put her in, and you knew that you were taking a massive risk, and then internet immediately split into half, right? So some of them called it that the high art fashion, but also the other half was actually trolling aggressively. So when you look at what you have spent over the months of planning and creating something. How do you deal with this toxic noise without letting you compromise your creative gut? And also, do you feel insecure about losing a client because of so much of bold choices you've made with all this negative outcome?
I mean, I I've worked on Cannes for so many years and I've got so much, like, we've always got the reviews, whether they were good, bad, ugly. So,
Yeah.
initially for a few times it does affect you. It does kind of like you can start questioning your choices.
Mm,
But then there's a back end to it, right? We've been working on it for over few 6 months, 5 months.
yeah.
And every year to be able to give something different is a very tough thing because the moment I'm going to put her into something safe, people will say, oh, she's already worn that. They're still going to
Yeah.
talk about it. So
Yeah.
whether I put her into something safe or I put her into something very challenging, and at that time when we were creating it, we loved the idea and it was different. It was
Of
something
course.
that's not done. So we went with that, and
Hmm.
we were very much aware of the reactions. We knew we are going to get the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
So, and when you know that the person that you're dressing has trust in you, and see, Aishwarya Rai will never walk out of an outfit if she's not confident,
Hmm.
and she was rocking it, and that was it.
I
So
agree.
us, whether it was that Michael Chinko, the blue gown or the peacock gown, or for that matter, even the purple lipstick,
I was about to say that.
she rocked it. We got a lot of backlash, but she rocked it, and she was confident. And it was, there are so many people involved at the back end because when you see it's the final result,
Hmm.
it's always comes onto the stylist
Hmm.
that why did she let this person do this, or why did she not, but they don't know what's happening back behind the scenes
Yeah.
and what are the struggles that we are going through, not just me as a stylist but as a hair person, makeup person, brand, and the actor and the
Hmm.
celebrity. So
Hmm.
there's so many things that are happening behind the scenes, so that but the pressure always kind of, and the blame game, if at all, or the praises, they always come to the stylist, which
Yes.
which is great and also not so great. But I
Yeah.
think you
Fair.
gotta
Take it as a
take,
pinch of salt.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I've always not taken people's comments very seriously unless they are from the people that I know and I
Hmm.
value,
Hmm.
and I know who they are, and they will come to me and say you did a shit job, or they'll come to me and say that you did a fab job, and that's what matters.
Hmm.
Everything else is noise.
Fair. And she's so gorgeous. She can rock anything, even if she comes out in like basic black dress, or she would do anything extraordinarily different, right? I mean, she can walk and she can create that. But I would look at it from a point of view that if you don't try, you don't know. And like you said, that if she's confident and if she can actually carry it off, then why not? So, but I want to ask you something very personal, and I'm sure this is the highest Googled question, and every girl would want to actually hear this. So, how do you instantly look sharper and thinner without actually having lose a single kilo of weight?
Wow. Um, the right silhouette. If you crack that for your body type, then you are sorted. And
Okay.
the right colors that work with your skin tone and make you look slimmer. So, like, more deeper, darker tones. If you are really trying to hide those curves, then go wear the heels, wear sharp, clean cuts. Don't wear anything that's too oversized or ill-fitted,
Okay.
uh, and wear deeper, darker colors.
Okay. Great. And Asa, I think we're witnessing a very historic shift right now in the global luxury. So almost every European fashion house has an Indian face. So from Deepika on LVMH to Cartier to Alia Bhatt on Gucci, Sonam on Dior, Priyanka on Bulgari, Rolex, and it's the endless list with Ananya on Chanel and whatnot. So the obvious explanation is that the India is one of the fastest growing luxury market for any of these brands. And then from your experience, have you witnessed a genuine shift in how they see the celebrities of India compared to a decade ago because you've been around for so long? And do they also have a limit every year to give limited number of outfits to a brand non-brand ambassador?
Yeah, I think every brand has a different kind of a system and like different kind of a protocol that they follow.
Okay.
Of course, the international brands coming and investing in India has been on for a few years, and now it's exploding.
Mm,
And you have places like Geo World and so like a lot of international brands are coming to India, and that's so great to see. And they are opting out for internet for Indian celebrities to be their faces because it's a lot more relatable for the Indian market. Like an Anna holding a Chanel bag or using Chanel Beauty is
mm,
something that the current generation is going to look forward to.
right.
Uh, if Ishan is there for Cartier,
Mm,
uh, then it becomes like something that's attainable,
mm,
something that people look up to can also go to the market and buy.
mm.
So I think it's a very smart and needed um, strategy that the brands are following.
Yeah,
It's great.
it is great. Yes. And do you have to convince them about the Indian celebrities? In the 10 years, has it changed the way now the brands see Indian celebrities compared to before, or it's still the same?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think earlier international brands were a lot more focused to editorials and magazines, and then now it's turned into making celebrities and actors wear their clothes and be seen because it's a lot more relatable. It's a lot more achievable and attainable.
Yeah.
So kind of it has changed. Of course, each brand has their own set of, criterias and the way they work.
Mm-hmm.
But but a lot of brands have opened up for sure.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very it's a lot easier to kind of connect with them and communicate with them because a lot of our Indian actors have become global
Right.
and they go for international red carpets and they are attending international premieres and they're working with in the West.
Mm.
So it obviously becomes a lot more, approachable.
Yeah. Okay. Asta, millions of girls would actually be, killing to be in your shoes because the fashion styling has sort of become fiercely glamorous, most competitive, and very romanticized career. So, if you were to advise anyone who is actually aspiring to be a stylist today, what are the three things you would tell them which no one from outside would know? It could be unglamorous or it could be very attractive, which they should actually know before they jump into this career.
Well, see, when I started at a very good time.
Yeah,
There was just a bunch of us. It was new, it was refreshing, and uh, of course, we had the competition, but we were very few of us.
yeah.
Now, of course, this profession has exploded, and there's every second person wants to become a stylist, or they want to kind of try to become a stylist. They want to leave their other professions and other careers to become a stylist. And it look very glamorous. And at some point, it is also a little glamorous. We get to see the shows, we get to not hang, but meet celebrities and,
Yeah.
meet some very iconic people. So
Mm-hmm.
we are very blessed in that way. But then this is not it. Like this is like probably the 3% of the entire career that we have.
Wow.
Everything else is constant running around, constant, um, you know, just running against time, doing 100 things in a day, lots of coordination. Because for a stylist, um, from outside, it looks like a stylist goes to the shoot, they
Mm-hmm.
meet pretty, they put things together on them, and they like, like say, wow, 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 and it's done. Actually, not that. We start working a week, 10 days, a month before the
Okay.
project. And we like, work and work and work. And then, then we finish our job and then we do the returns.
Mm.
So for us, the timeline to do one project is very long. And
Hmm.
lot of young ones who come to us, and they have kind of fantasized styling as something that they're just going to go meet the celebrity or work with an actor and go out. It's not
Yeah.
like it's like hours and hours in the market looking for that one small thing and getting frustrated with not finding it, or at 11 o'clock at night running to the market to look for something, or taking 5 a.m. flights to be somewhere and take a flight back same night, or it's can be
It's hard work.
it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So that's what you don't see. Of course, there are many advantages and on Instagram, everything looks so glamorous, but we get tired and we get
Of course.
exhausted, and sometimes it can be it can be very challenging to be in this profession. It's absolutely amazing, and I love my job, but you need to be consistent, you need to be hardworking, and it never stops.
And
It
you
never
have to be available at like 24/7, right? To anyone's calls. It's not a 9 to 5 job. And that
stops.
that is not for everyone. I would
We
definitely
wake
say
up
it.
like when we're shooting, like for example, a show like Royals, we wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to reach the set and work all day and come back home at 12 o'clock at night and probably get 3 to 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Hmm.
Um, from the outside, it'll look, oh, it's so easy, but
No.
it's very taxing, and we're constantly like there's a constant stress of finishing your job and doing it perfectly.
And there are so many moving parts, right? Like there are 100 other people you're dependent on. If one of them makes a mistake or delays anything, then it comes on to you, and then you have to coordinate and deal with all of that.
Because everyone's time is very, very crucial. A lot of money, time, energy has gone to create a set,
Hmm.
for to bring in the actors and bring in the production and bring in everything together. So if the costumes go wrong or an outfit goes wrong, it's the whole
Um,
shoot stops.
yeah, yeah. And for any of these big red carpet events or any of these major festivals where your celebrities actually you're styling them, do you usually go with couple of backup costumes? Do you go with
Always,
okay,
always have 5 suitcases plus.
really?
You got to do that. You got to do that. Anything can go wrong, or the somebody can
That
change
day
their
you
mind,
that day
or
you
they
might
want
not like it.
or you need options, and you need to first arrange. If you're working with international brands, you have to arrange for your customs and couriers, and getting it out of the customs, and then doing trials and fittings, make it the perfect fit, and then pack it all and take it to the shoot. So, or take it to the event or wherever you're going for that red carpet. So
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it's a
A
lot,
lot
I'm
goes
sure.
into that one red carpet that you see, like for like while scrolling for like
Okay,
five
but
seconds.
what I want to ask is that when you create the concept to mood board to designing, is it different when you style a man or is it the same as you are styling a woman?
And when we're creating a mood board, is almost the same.
Okay.
Yeah, because we keep the same kind of pointers in mind. What are they going for? What are they attending? What level of the event that it is, and or whether it's a film, or what their character is going to look like, or the mood boarding and referencing is always equal for whether it's a woman or a man.
Aishwarya or Saif, it doesn't matter.
Whoever.
Whoever, fair.
Whoever.
And as the last but not least, if I were to ask you one piece of advice you would give it to all the women or men who are listening today, what would it be?
In terms of their dressing,
Anything, whatever you want to advise them.
just have fun with fashion. Don't take it too seriously, and don't blindly follow trends. Just create your own, even if it's off, just create your own vibe, and just don't follow what everyone else is
Yeah,
doing or wearing and get inspired, because it's only going to confuse you. So
true.
I've always said that just follow uh, your own space, your own vibe. And of course, there's fashion and there are trends, but always like kind of pick up the classics, invest in the right fit, right brands, right accessories, very important, which can make or break your look.
Hmm.
And just have fun with it and not take it too seriously.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, have fun with it. It's such a beautiful process. Like I love dressing up, and it's so therapeutic for me.
Scarf.
Ye- I had to do something extra, right? Because I was talking to you. So I genuinely feel that it's so therapeutic. Some people really get stressed out. Oh my God, I have to dress up. I have to go here. I think I always tell my own.
Dressing up is stressful, and especially in today's day and age when everybody's looking is dressing up to the T. It is very difficult and it is very overwhelming, and I get overwhelmed. And sometimes when I'm dressing other people, it's a lot easier for me to dress other people than dress myself.
Really?
Because you're just so like, after a while, so you've seen it all, you're like so overwhelmed with clothes at times that you like. That's why
Exhausted.
when I style myself, it's very, very simple. It's usually
But
never
that,
over the top.
but that's who you are, maybe as a personality as well, right? You would be more comfortable in something plain, simple, clean cuts and everything. I am someone who loves Schiaparelli, so I'm over the top. And I
Yeah,
mean, I love Chanel as well, which is very simple, basic, but I think I can swing between the two. And
that's
therefore,
amazing.
yeah, and I genuinely, so ever since I was a child, I wanted to become a fashion designer. And but I was very bright in school. So everyone's like, oh, why do you want to become a fashion designer,
You can
And
start now.
I know. I used to actually design from my mom's saris. I used to create an outfit, and all my friends and family's outfits I used to actually design, and to my tailor would give it to them in Bombay, in Lokhandwala. I love and enjoy the entire process. It's very therapeutic for me, but I
Oh,
understand it's not for everyone.
yeah.
But before I let you go, Asta, I want to ask some rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to your mind, just give it to me very quickly. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Always have a plan B and a C and a D.
Love that. One self-care routine you swear by,
My workouts and good 8 hours sleep.
if you get it.
Try to. Try,
If
and then this career, it becomes difficult.
I know, I know. If you were to meet 16 years old Astha today, what would you tell her?
I tell her to enjoy her teens a lot more and not because everything's going to work out eventually.
What's one major fashion trend that needs to be retired immediately?
Mm, kitten heels, like I've never liked them. So, like for me, it's
Okay.
a
Okay.
keep
Best,
coming in, going out and style, fashion. But yeah.
since you mentioned that you are a fan of vintage stores, any favorite shops or hidden gems you can tell us?
Uh, um, I mean, there's so many in London. I mean, like in Soho and Notting Hill, they're like I don't remember their names, but I know where they are. You know, in India, you also have so many now, so many beautiful vintage stores. Like you have Beg Borrow Steel, then you have Bodman, you have Vianj Vintage, who does jewelry, vintage jewelry. Um, like there are so many now.
Hmm.
And you have to find, and you have to go to every city and find your right gems. You have to go to the local market and uh, find your favorite vintage stores.
Yeah, I love those antique markets. Even if you don't get it, it's fine. It's even good to
I
just
mean, Notting Hills and all, like you have such beautiful
beautiful.
street markets where you can, just buy from your cutleries to your potteries to your, just like the posters and stuff. Oof, I miss it.
Beautiful. I know. I know. I love going there. Even if I'm not shopping, it just the window shopping is also so much fun.
It is.
The most common styling mistake every woman makes, which you would recommend not to do.
Sorry, say again?
What is the biggest mistake according to you, which almost everyday women make in terms of a style?
I don't think all of them, but some of them try to do everything.
Hmm.
And top to bottom branded is something that puts me off. Or like worn your entire wardrobe or all the styles together.
Sure.
Uh, there's some joy to watch in that, but I would want to help
Highlight
them
one thing.
light and like just like calm down.
Yeah, don't look like a shop.
Uh,
One item every woman should be splurging or investing regardless the budget.
I think jewelry and good bags
Okay.
that kind of elevate your look instantly.
Instantly.
You have a
Yes.
good bag, even like a basic jeans and t-shirt, and a beautiful vintage jewelry, or like just a statement piece, statement
Hmm.
jewelry.
It elevates for sure.
Yeah,
If you could dress one fashion icon, historic, dead or alive, who you haven't, who would that be?
Princess Diana.
Oh my God. I did not
Mhm.
think, oh, it would have been amazing. What is that one thing you underestimate about yourself when you started Wardrobist?
Mm. I didn't think much of it. I didn't underestimate myself. I was just like, I had just so much fire and like I just wanted to do something. And I think that's the beauty of when you start something at a younger age. Because if
Hmm.
I today, I'll have a lot of apprehension and thoughts. When I started Wardrobist, I had nothing to lose. So we just went all in. And that was the beauty of it.
Yeah,
And uh, yeah, I guess.
sure. What are the five wardrobe essentials every woman should own?
I think have really good basics like your pair of denims or pants or like black pair of pants and a good fitting denim that
Hmm.
kind of eases out your and your perfect fitted tops or tanks, that kind of sets gives you that one set of look to play around with, or have a nice, like, if you especially if you travel a lot, have a nice overcoat or like a jacket that you can always keep in handy and throw it on.
Hmm.
Um, a, a good pair of a good bag in neutral colors, like a black or a nude or a white, always works with everything, elevates your look. Good pair of heels. And I think a good fitted pantsuit to, always fall back to, and like, your classic dresses,
Yeah.
clean classic dresses, which you don't find very easily. But if you find your perfect fit, just invest in it.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
like, I don't want to name Zara's and all, like, um, yeah.
Okay. 3 Indian fashion designers or labels you adore.
There's so many.
Give me whatever comes to your mind, the top of your mind.
I mean, in Indian couture, it's Tarun, it's Gaurav, it's Sabya, it's Anamika. There's so many. And then
Yeah.
your newer Western, like, the cool new vibe. There is Kanika Goyal, there is Dhruv Kapoor, there's so many brands.
Yeah.
43188 by Shweta. Um, there's so many.
And they're doing so amazing. I mean,
But
every
it's
outfit is like a
amazing.
piece of art. I genuinely feel that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
3 international brands you adore.
I love Prada.
Hmm.
I think it's quite my aesthetic.
Hmm.
Mm, I like Chanel. It's classic. Um, and I like Area. I think they do quite fun, funky stuff.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. And I'm sure you have tons of it. And I can't wait what you create in the future as well from the red carpets. And I really genuinely wish that you go to the Met and all other big events and,
Thank you.
show your
Thank
magic. And,
you.
but
Means a
thank
lot.
you. But thank you so much for pulling the curtain in the world of fashion we admire. And yes, also being very true and very candid about what really goes behind the journey and giving us the masterclass in terms of the craft and courage and also the creativity. And it's been just wonderful to actually chat about it. And remember, in the Coco Chanel's timeless words, the dress shabbily and no one would remember the dress, but if you dress impeccably, then they would remember the woman. And on that note, before we see what you magically create. I want to say to all the women who are listening today that this is not just the podcast, it's a global sisterhood, it's a fashion date. So just go all out, try different things, be confident, be self-expressive, and don't fear of failure. And do not apologize for taking any space. And do not shrink also yourself to fit into someone else's version of success. So until next time, stay fashionable, stay courageous, and stay powerful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to You Are a Force. Hit subscribe and join us next week for more powerful stories from women rewriting the rules. Until then, keep building, keep leading, and remember, you are a force.